Welcome to the Cinebuds podcast. In this episode, we discuss the sci-fi flicks that tickle our fancy, the abominations that still chap our ass, and we answer the dire question of who would win in a fight, a xenomorph or a predator. The Cinebuds podcast starts right now. Welcome to the Cinebuds podcast, where we talk about all things fantastic in the world of movies. I'm Matt Cook, and with me always is Garrett Dennert.
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Pretty good. We got a special episode planned for everybody.
Guys, this one's a good one. It's really special.
Yeah, super special. So special that it's all sci-fi movies. Talking all sci-fi in this episode. But before we get started, head over to iTunes and rate and review this podcast. That would help us out tremendously.
It really would, and we'd be really grateful for it.
Please do that. All right, so Garrett, what is it about sci-fi movies that you like?
What I like about sci-fi movies is that it really forces me to think. Like, I tend to gravitate more to sci-fi movies that are like, I don't know, they challenge you philosophically.
Yeah, they don't spoon feed you.
Yeah. They make me work.
Yeah,
and
use that noggin.
Yeah, and they make me try to figure shit out on my own. Like, how about you, though? What do you think?
I like not being spoon-fed. Sometimes. I don't know. I just like I like being transported to someplace that is not like reality. I especially like sci-fi movies that do a lot of world building.
Yeah.
And we'll get into some of the movies that I think do that. But I don't know. I just like seeing somebody else create this like world and create like a cinematic experience that they can share with massive amounts of people. I just think that's...
Yeah. Like when it's done right. Like, it's like very much... I don't know what word I'm looking for here, where it's very immersive when it's done right, compared to, like, in my opinion, just like if you watch reality and that's all, like, or you watch depictions of reality, like, you start to feel numb to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like sci-fi and fantasy, they just hug you.
Yeah. Hug you, make you feel nice and warm inside.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess what are some of your favorite sci-fi picks of all time?
All right. I think at the top of my list, I have Children of Men. You ever seen that one?
Yeah, that has it's the guy that's in Sin City.
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and Michael Caine's in it.
Mm-hmm. Julianne Moore.
It's been several years since I saw that movie, but yeah. I really liked that movie.
Yeah, I think it was 2006 when it came out.
Okay.
And it was Alfonso Cuarón. And I don't know, just some of the camera work in that movie is amazing, like on like that technical level, but like the story is, I don't know, like it seems realistic, like too realistic.
Yeah.
Like, so like it's not that far away. It's set in 2027 and there's infertility across the globe. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, you have different cells of people like that are going rogue almost, like you have people that are cooperating with each other. Like it's just, I don't know. I can't find the right words for it. Like I just love that movie.
Yeah.
Like what's your top?
Okay. In no particular order. You want me to list them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give them to me.
All right. So I talked about this movie. I don't remember if it was the last episode or if it was 2 episodes ago, but Terminator, James Cameron's 1984 Terminator.
Good choice.
That to me, and I mean, I wasn't alive when that movie came out by any means, but I don't know. I just think that movie kind of helped steer the path of kind of modern day sci-fi movies.
It's granddaddy,
and it was Arnold's breakout role. I mean, he was in Conan before that, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think Terminator, it's almost like a sci-fi horror movie.
Yeah,
in a way, because
I agree with that.
because the sequel is more of like a sci-fi like action movie.
See, I like
I would say
yeah.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day is a sci-fi blockbuster, like sci-fi action blockbuster, where the first Terminator it kind of had a lower budget. I mean,
yeah, the second one seemed like more adventurous. It was more on the go, I think.
yeah.
Like I don't know, the first one, I think you're absolutely right. That like there's a lot more like there's eerie, just like a very eerie feeling to it.
Well, and it was rated R, wasn't it? And then the sequel was PG-13. Was no.
I don't think so.
Oh man, I'm losing all credibility here.
What's the?
I feel like it's a little more audience friendly. The second one, it's not as. I feel like it's just the first one seems so much more like violent and I don't know. He's going out killing police officers and all that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think that I prefer the second one, just because I think that the time that I watched it, like, it was very. I don't know. I was probably like John Connor's age. I'm just like, this is cool.
Yeah,
like digging this shit.
Well, and it has that element of like a 10-year-old or 11-year-old kid on this big adventure with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, like it seemed, I don't know, maybe there was more blockbuster in mind, having that comedic element between John and Arnold. Yeah. But like, what's the other one on your list?
I got Blade Runner.
Ooh.
Ridley Scott.
Ooh, it's been a while since I've seen that.
Yeah, Harrison Ford. And now, to be honest, the first few times I tried watching this movie, I was just like putting it on like before going to bed, like trying to watch it like before trying to fall asleep, and I couldn't get through it. I mean, I put it on with the intent to finish it, but it was hard for me to get through it at first. I mean, obviously because I was trying to watch it in bed, but once I sat down in my living room and watched it on my TV.
It's kind of a slow burn, right?
Yeah, it does start out very much a slow burn, but just the world building and like I think it takes place only a few years from now. Like that's when it's supposed to take place, but the world building they do it. I don't know. I just feel like it's such a great, like concept design, and I don't think the buildings and the futuristic landscape of our world will be like that until 100 or 200 years. But I don't know. I just thought that movie it's a very like intelligent movie.
Yeah, like there's a lot going on that it's easy to miss.
Yeah, you have to be paying attention. If you're not paying attention watching Blade Runner, a lot of stuff just goes over your head.
Yeah, I feel like
because it's a very dialogue driven movie.
Yeah, because I think that it's a detective movie mostly, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
And I watched it just once. Like, it's one that I want to see again, just because I feel as if I missed out. Like I was watching it with a roommate, and he just kept talking. Like, for example, I really wanted to just have one of those moments where it's just, I want to watch this by myself, bro. Like, leave me alone. But no, like I went into it knowing how prestigious it is viewed now. Like, where it's just, I don't know. A lot of people cite it as like in their top 5 as their top movie ever. Like, yeah,
some people it's their number 1 movie.
Yeah, and I feel like I missed that. I'm pissed at myself, but
and I mean, I think we're a little young to fully appreciate like when that movie came out, what it was like, and what it did to just the movie business.
Yeah, I think that one, along with, so you chose 2 that kind of just like
Yeah, I guess so.
or just,
Yeah,
like,
redefine sci-fi film.
Yeah, like my second one is Moon. So it was with Sam Rockwell, directed by Duncan Jones, and I don't know. There's this like it's a very small cast. Like it's very like it had to have been made with like a low budget. I didn't do any checking of that, but it had to have been made with a low budget. But it never feels like that.
Yeah,
Like they really get the mileage out of like what they have in that movie, and like Kevin Spacey as Gertie, the voice is pretty awesome. But I think it's probably the best performance I've seen from Sam Rockwell, and like that's like I don't mind Sam Rockwell. I just was like kind of blown away by his performance in that, and try not to spoil this because I know you haven't seen it, right?
No, I haven't. I've heard it's really good though. I need to check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Like it's a really tight movie. I think it's under an hour 45 or so.
Oh wow.
And it's just really personal, really the tone of it is really tense. I think that you'll really like it.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
All right. So we had one movie that we chose that was in common from one another, and that is Ex Machina. This came out, what was it, about 15, 16 months ago? Like spring or late winter of 2015. In this movie, from all the reviews and what people say is it's loved by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody that has seen it loved it. Very underrated film.
Yeah, like I remember seeing just a few previews, like not much, and being really interested because I thought that like the trailers were really really well done.
Yeah, totally.
But I don't think that it ever came to a theater near me at the time. Maybe it did, but like if it did, I don't know. But
yeah, it was very limited release.
But like similar, like it's a very tight movie in my
sure.
opinion. And Alex Garland, I think, what did he write before?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. I know he's got Annihilation coming out. Is that next year?
Yeah, I think that comes out 2017.
But like I've watched some interviews with him. Like he's just a really like sharp, interesting guy. Like I don't know. He knows this story. Like I remember like I think it was the South by Southwest interview he was doing, and like people were asking him questions about like the motivations of his characters, and like never missed a beat. Like as soon as the question left their mouth, he was just like, no, this is it, the blah blah blah. Like which is, I don't know, that's hard to do. Like that's hard to have like so much confidence in your characters and what you're writing, but like it really comes across on the screen. I think like those characters in that movie are pretty complex.
Yeah. Well, and the performance of, is it Alicia Vikander?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As the robot. I mean, she deserved a standing ovation for that performance.
Yeah, it was great. I really liked Oscar Isaac in it too.
Yeah, he was awesome in that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to some of the upcoming sci-fi movies of this year. Well, and next year too. We have Alien Covenant. Ridley Scott returning to the Alien. Well, I mean, he did direct Prometheus, but I guess this is a sequel to Prometheus. Yet, I guess it's kind of doing like what The Force Awakens did. It was kind of a sequel, but a reboot.
Gotcha.
I think that's what Alien Covenant's going to kind of be. And then we also have Passenger starring Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. That comes out in December of this year. Also is Star Trek Beyond, which comes out a week from Friday.
Of those three, which are you most interested in? If date didn't have a factor, if they for some reason all came out on the same Friday, which one are you going to go see?
I would be seeing Alien Covenant.
All right.
And I mean, for that pick though, I kind of know what I'm getting with Star Trek Beyond.
Right.
And then Passengers. I mean, they don't even have a trailer out. I'm really intrigued for this movie with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. They're both great actors. But I don't know, just Alien Covenant. I liked Prometheus. I know some people
I did too.
didn't like it, but after Ridley Scott knocking it out of the park with The Martian, I'm really excited to see him tackle this movie. And I mean, it has Michael Fassbender in it, and Danny McBride is a pilot in the movie.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know how I feel about that.
I know. I kind of want him to have some comedy bits in there, but I want him to be more grounded than he usually is, because he can get kind of carried away.
Yeah.
But I'm still super excited for Alien Covenant. But I will be seeing Star Trek Beyond in like a week and a half or whenever it comes out. What about you?
I think I'd go Passengers.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I think my only reasoning is that, I mean, don't get me wrong, Alien Covenant, like, I'd gladly check that out. I liked Prometheus, and I dig the Alien movies, and I dig Ridley Scott. I really don't get the Danny McBride thing, but maybe he'll knock me off my feet. I don't know.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, because like it's just me typecasting him, I guess, where it's just, I don't know. I just see him cracking jokes that don't belong in an Alien movie, and
right.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're supposed to be in there.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be the comedic relief, but I read a description of his character, and I guess he's going to be like running the ship. So that's crazy. The last movie had Idris Elba doing that.
Yeah, and he was awesome.
Right.
Like I thought. Like I just don't see Danny McBride being Idris Elba.
It's crazy. I mean, it's weird, but I'm excited to see what he does in the movie.
Well, I'm excited for Passengers, like just based off the premise of it.
Right.
So, on a spaceship traveling to, I don't remember where, far away.
Yeah, it sounds
galaxy.
Like they're traveling to colonize like a different world with hundreds of passengers on the ship, and then Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence, their characters wake up 60 years early.
Yeah.
So 60 years before arriving at the colony.
So I imagine, like, I mean, having full run of the ship, like,
right.
It's just like their own little world. But like, I think that, I don't know, it seems as if that's gonna be one of those quieter movies, like quieter sci-fi flicks that's like pushing the envelope and like pushing your philosophical.
Right. Do you remember the movie Rocket Man?
Rocket Man? No.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
It was like a kid's movie, and
I'm gonna look.
They're on like a mission to Mars, and the guy, I think it's on their way home.
1997.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember this. It's got Harlan Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
he drinks piss on Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. He's the bike cop that pulls over.
Yep. Yeah, I remember this movie. I feel like
Yeah. Anyways, in the movie, he wakes up early and he eats all the food while everyone's sleeping. I don't know. That just popped into my weird brain. Sorry, everyone.
Maybe J-Law will do that.
Maybe. All right, so let's move on to Nostalgia's Corner.
All right.
What's your pick? Give it to me.
I'm really excited about my pick this week. It's brought to you in the year 1986.
All right.
It's got Steve Guttenberg in it.
Really?
Yeah. Is this sounding familiar at all? It's Short Circuit.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, I haven't watched that in a long time.
Oh yeah, I remember the VHS that my brother and I had. Like we would watch that way more than we should have. Like it wasn't like that great of a movie.
Yeah.
But the premise is just this military robot. I think he's electrocuted and suddenly becomes intelligent and finds his way to this woman. Like, and basically learns to be human.
Jeez.
And it's cheesy.
Yeah.
Like, definitely watch it. It's probably like I haven't watched it since I was probably like 5 or 6 years
me
old,
too.
but like it's probably worth a laugh at least. Like,
For sure.
the effects, if not.
Yeah.
Steve Guttenberg, guys.
Yeah, where is Steve Guttenberg these days, you know?
I don't know.
I think the last movie I saw him in was like is it Kirstie Alley? Kirstie Alley and the Olsen twins.
I think I know
You
what
remember
you're
that
talking
movie?
about. Yeah.
Anyways,
My boy Steve.
Yeah.
Goot. It's my boy Goot.
All right. My pick is Weird Science.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Do I love this movie? I
Good
recently bought it on Blu-ray. I think my dad had it. He got a Laserdisc player, I think, from like a family friend in the 90s. And I think he had it on Laserdisc, but it's directed by John Hughes. For me, it's one of my all-time favorite 80s movies. Oingo Boingo
Oingo Boingo.
did Weird Science, the song on that movie. Danny Elfman was the singer of that band. But yeah, this movie, it's, you know, it makes the nerdy kids, the unlikable kids at school, the cool kids.
Right.
And they get they create somehow in their bedroom a hot chick.
This babe.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just a fun like 80s movie. You know, you have Bill Paxton as Chet. But
That's
yeah,
another one. God, I haven't seen that in a long time. I like that pick.
yeah, it's a cheesy little like John Hughes like sci-fi movie, but I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the worst sci-fi movie you've ever seen?
Ooh. All right, so
And then why did it suck so bad? Whatever. Because you're thinking.
yeah,
You're thinking
we
hard.
saw it in theaters. I don't remember what year it came out. 2007 or 2008, somewhere around there. It's one of M. Night Shyamalan's stinkers, and that would be The Happening.
Ooh.
I remember just walking out of the.
How could you hate that movie?
Oh yeah. I just remember walking out of the theater, just like, what the hell did I just watch?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know if it was like, I think we were in our later teen years.
I remember being excited for it.
Yeah, because I mean, it was M. Night Shyamalan, and at that point, I don't think he had a bad movie. I mean, he was coming off of like Signs, and he had The Village, which the trailers were a little deceiving to a lot of people, but I thought it was an okay movie. I didn't really have any issues with it. And then he came out with The Happening with Mark Wahlberg and Zoe Deschanel. Is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was just like, I mean, I think this was the first movie, like, as like an adult, I was like, this was a bad movie.
It was so bad.
Terrible. I mean, you have like scenes that are supposed to be like horror, but they're like laughably bad. Like I mean, we're gonna get into some spoilers here. Not that the movie's even worth watching.
Save your money. Don't.
But plants emit these this bacteria, or like I don't know, what would you call it? Like pollen that's
it's breathed in and it just fucks with their head.
Yeah,
like
it makes people want to commit suicide. So this guy's mowing
the laughs ensue.
So this guy's mowing his lawn, and Mark Wahlberg's him and his posse are walking past the house, and this guy gets off his riding lawnmower, puts it in gear, lays down in front of it, and lets it run over him, chopping his body into pieces. It's just, I don't know.
Which, like, that's a sharp lawnmower. To tell you what.
Yeah, I think that was like a 48-inch deck on that riding lawnmower.
Like, don't worry about that bone. Like,
right.
Don't worry about anything. Like, this just comes out like paper.
Yeah,
like,
it's a bad movie.
Yeah, like I remember being really confused as to why it sucked so bad.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you were too. And I feel like we each did our own little research on it afterward to be like, why? Why did it suck so bad? And I think that it came back where M. Night Shyamalan was in an interview and saying like this is supposed to be a B movie.
Yeah, I remember that too.
And it's just, why would you want to? I don't know.
Well, it didn't really have the feel of like a B movie. Like to me, like a modern B movie is when Robert Rodriguez and Tarantino did
It's
that.
really campy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and this wasn't. Like,
No,
it was totally set up to be this thing that you are supposed to be scared of and supposed to be freaked out.
Right.
And I just remember, because I hated that movie.
Yeah, it was bad.
There was one scene, I think it was right before this lawnmower scene, where Mark Wahlberg and his new crew are walking around and just walking through fields, and it just like quick cuts, like cut to Mark Wahlberg's face. Hey guys, look, a house over here, and then it cuts to the house, and then like he just cuts back to Mark Wahlberg just waving everybody along. Come on, guys, and it threw me so far out of the movie. I remember I'm like, what the fuck, like this sucks. And then the lawnmower happened, and somehow we stuck through all of it.
Yeah, we should have just left.
Yeah, cut our losses.
Yeah. All right. So what's your pick?
My pick is the 2001 version of Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
directed by Tim Burton.
You know, when I first saw that, I liked it. Because I remember as a kid, my dad would watch the originals like all the time. In the opening scene on the original Planet of the Apes, it's like 15 minutes long.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know what it was. Like I just don't I was too young at the time to really like know everything about Tim Burton and stuff, but like I watched it recently and it's just like why doesn't this aesthetic work?
Yeah.
Like why doesn't, because there are a few different things I think like that Tim Burton pairs up nicely with Tim Burton's version of Batman. Like or Tim Burton meets Alice in Wonderland or whatever, and it's just like Tim Burton Planet of the Apes, that could be interesting. And I don't know, I think there are probably elements to it that like still are interesting, but I don't think that like the choice to costume everybody was great. Like that really threw me out. I remember not thinking the guy like Tim Roth playing the lead ape, I thought that was really shitty. Like that Mark Wahlberg, hey, coincidence, Mark Wahlberg in both of ours. I don't like Mark Wahlberg, I'll admit that. But like I just thought the performances weren't great, the aesthetic wasn't great. Like it just didn't hit any of those notes.
Yeah, I think it may have just been a little too dark, like tonally.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing like what Rise of the Planet of the Apes and like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the way they took those movies, I don't know. I just think, some things work. Like remaking something sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. And I just think the 2001 Planet of the Apes movie was just, I don't know. I just don't think it's something that can work nowadays. It's just too different of a, pop culture has changed so much. It's just, I think it's hard for people to like accept that as something good.
Yeah.
Like it's just not like appealing to people. But Paul Giamatti was in that movie too as the orangutan.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of thought he was funny.
Yeah, he probably was. Like it's,
why can't we just all get along? He says something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's roll on into some Twitter questions.
Rolling.
Spike Getty on Twitter says, let's settle this. Who wins in a fight? An alien xenomorph or the Predator?
I want to hear your answer first.
All right, okay.
Because you're probably going to influence mine.
All right, so in the Predator movies, or I guess, no, in the Alien movies, in the first Alien movie, it took several people the entire length to kill one alien. However, in the Alien sequel, it took several people. They killed hundreds, I don't know, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in Predator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, it took a freaking entire military squad, the entire length of a movie, to just kill one Predator.
It's true.
So I'm going to choose a Predator because they have cloaking. They have high sophisticated alien technological weapons.
I'm wondering, I want to know the specifics of this fight.
Okay, yeah. Because, I mean, if you're putting them out in the woods, like in the jungle setting of the Predator movie, I think a Predator would obviously win. But if you're going to be on like a ship with like nooks and crannies and like air vents and things like that, I think a xenomorph might take the cake.
Advantage xenomorph. I wonder about time. Like, that's such a dumb question for me to ask. I think I'm being a dick, but it's just like, I'm just just wait for evolution to take over. Like, these xenomorphs are gonna figure this shit out.
Right.
I don't know. That's my only thing. But I think Predator all the way. Like, if it's just like a one-on-one.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Predator all the way.
But I really want to say evolution wins, but like I don't think that applies here.
All right, so next question. Cook883 on Twitter asks, Inception or Interstellar?
Ooh. I'm gonna go Interstellar.
Really?
Yes. Yes, really. And I love Inception.
That's shocking to me.
I can see it. Like, you look legitimately shocked right now.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say right now.
What I love about Interstellar is like.
Okay, wait. I just want to ask, as a sci-fi movie or movie?
Ooh. Probably sci-fi movie.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I think that Inception is. I mean, it's definitely sci-fi.
Yeah,
like, it definitely gets under that umbrella for me, but
for sure,
Interstellar seems to like hit the gas on the sci-fi thing, and it really, whenever I tell someone about Interstellar that hasn't seen it, like I tell them about how they try to like explain black holes, like to a mass audience, like, which just still blows my mind that like that takes a lot of balls to like be like, no, we're gonna get them to understand this. And I don't know. I think a lot of it comes from admiration for trying to do those things. And like, I really like, I don't know. I think that the writing of it isn't my favorite of like Chris and Jonathan Nolan, but it's still high quality.
Yeah.
And I really care for some of the characters, not all, but like some of the characters. And I think McConaughey kills it. He
did a good job.
I think Anne Hathaway killed it. But I'll quit rambling. How about you?
Well, we're on different spectrums here. I chose Inception.
Tell me why.
I don't. This movie just, it's a mind blower. You know, I remember seeing this in theaters and just being totally blown away with that. Just the ending scene. It just leaves you on the edge of your seat. Like, what truly happened? You know, you don't know. And I think it's a movie that, like we talked about this earlier, it requires people to think during the movie, and it doesn't spoon feed people.
It took me, I think that one took me at least 2 or 3 times to
definitely
to feel good about
my
train of thought.
Right. And for that type of movie, I mean, obviously it had Leonardo DiCaprio in it, but I feel like that movie made quite a bit of money.
I think so too.
I'll look it up here on Box Office Mojo, but I just, for that type of movie to appeal to that big of audience, it's just
again, like just trying to get so many, or attempting to get so many people to buy into this complex idea,
right,
and
it made
entertain them.
It made almost $63 million opening weekend, which I think that's pretty phenomenal for the type of movie that it is.
Mm-hmm. And this is Nolan coming off of, or it's between Batman's, right? Or between Dark Knight.
Yeah, it was between Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. So like his name was.
Yeah, he was on a hot streak at the time. But yeah, I mean I do appreciate Interstellar for just the amount of sci-fi and just science that they brought to the table. I mean, I watched a special of them showing how they were explaining, or how they developed how they were going to explain black holes to the audience. And I don't know, that movie is just,
well, like for me, I mean, the relativity too.
Yeah.
Where it's just at first, like while watching that movie, I'm just like, oh, that's just like Inception, where it's just like, oh, you're going another level deeper or whatever. But like once you see, like, okay, in Interstellar, like that character that gets left on the ship.
Yeah, 30 years later, the guy's just trying to solve equations the whole time.
Yeah, man.
Spoilers.
That poor bastard.
Yeah.
It's like,
were they on the planet for like a few minutes?
Yeah, I think a couple hours because their ship.
Oh, okay.
They needed to dry out their ship because they got flooded.
Yeah.
But no, like the science in it, like it makes you want to go research just so you can understand better, like the character motivations, and not in a way that's just like pushing you out of it. And Inception doesn't either. Like I love both movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just prefer Interstellar. I respect your decision to disagree.
As I respect yours. All right, so moving on. Who does a better sci-fi epic? James Cameron, Christopher Nolan, or Ridley Scott?
Tough question. I think my vote goes to Christopher Nolan. I want to hear what your vote is.
Okay, I'm going to do Ridley Scott.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people would say, well, James Cameron directed Avatar, but I feel like the other two are better overall storytellers. I mean, with my pick with Ridley Scott, though, he has had a few stinkers, like Exodus, Gods and Kings. Mm-hmm. That movie was not good. I hated that movie. And that had a lot of talent in it, too. But I think with what he did with, like, Alien, Blade Runner, The Martian, I really love his take on science fiction movies.
Yeah, like I was going to ask, do you think that that's sort of his bread and butter?
For sure,
like,
yeah.
If you look at movies like Gladiator and Black Hawk Down and Body of Lies, I think he did too. And he did like Matchstick Men and all these that are outside of that genre.
Right.
But like he seems to be most known for.
Yeah, for sure.
Sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, I think that's more of his wheelhouse. But yeah, with the exception of Gladiator, I mean, he for sure has the ability to do like period pieces or just dramas, like especially with The Martian. It's not only a sci-fi movie, but it has a lot of like dramatic elements to it too, and as well as comedic elements. I think it won like a Golden Globe this past year for like best comedy. But yeah, I was really surprised with The Martian. It's not only sci-fi, but it's drama and comedy in that movie too. But overall, I would definitely pick Ridley Scott as my sci-fi guy.
Well, I think my Nolan pick, I think, comes from this area of just feeling as if he has his finger on the pulse of sci-fi today. And I think that I wouldn't say that Ridley Scott's time is past, like not in the slightest, but I think Nolan, for me, seems to be more on top of it, more on top of like, whereas, Ridley Scott's like continuing this franchise basically.
Yeah.
So like Alien,
Right.
Prometheus, and like Nolan,
trying to bring a fresh take to the genre.
yeah.
I think he tries to do that with almost everything he...
And I mean, I look back on even a movie like Memento, and I mean, The Prestige can be considered sci-fi as well.
Yeah.
But like, he tries to tell these not just complex stories, but like he's trying new forms, and I think that really suits the sci-fi genre well because it's just pushing the envelope, and so you get him pushing the envelope in story, pushing the envelope in form. I don't know. I think it's a pretty potent mix.
Yeah. All right, moving on. What do you look for in a sci-fi movie? As far as like, do you just want it to be an action spectacle? Do you want it to not only have those elements, do you want it to just be a great overall movie?
I think that I really want to be challenged by the story. Like visually, so I'll go a little bit deeper into that. Challenged by the story, like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be plot. Like the plot can be, relatively simple. Like it doesn't have to be like bogged down with, world building can tell a lot of the plot, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I want a combination of like those operatic visuals. Like I want the sweeping shots. I want like the new techniques. I want to see new and feel new. Like I don't really want to see another Inception, for example. Refer back to like when I was talking about like relativity and Interstellar and just being like, oh, this is another Inception. Like it quickly threw me out of that notion where it's just like, no, this is something else. Like this is something completely new. And I don't know, like I don't want to see another Interstellar. Like I don't want to see another,
me either.
Like,
a sequel, or I think those, especially Inception, that concept and the way the movie ended, I think it's a one and done type of movie. It's the story started and at the end it closed. It's like reading a book.
And I love that. Like I love feeling as if the story it's been told. Like I want to think about that story still, but I don't want to think about like what comes next.
Right. But I think, and I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of people, their favorite type of sci-fi movies are like the Transformers movies. Yeah, which we're
barf.
We're anti-Transformers.
Yeah. So like, what do you look for then? Because like, Transformers for me anyway, like gets lumped into this category of like unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like,
well, along with the amount of sequels they're trying to do, and like there are some movies that they're the more accessible sci-fi movies that I can enjoy, but I just want an overall good story. I want it to be visually appealing, and it doesn't have to be like Ex Machina. I think that movie was extremely low budget, probably under $50 million, and that's really low for a modern, like, wide release movie. Especially sci-fi movies are one of the most expensive movies to make.
Right.
But I just want to be told a story that incorporates elements of sci-fi, but just be a great overall story. And
would you prefer or do you prefer space opera type of feel to, say, something that's a little bit more like claustrophobic? Or compared to something that's a little bit more like Star Trek-y? Because Star Trek to me is like, I really like those movies, They're just like, I don't know, they're a good time. You know, I don't really feel that challenged. Like,
no,
philosophically or anything. Like, it's just really entertaining, really fun. Like, so do you think that you would rather like spend your time doing that?
If I had to choose, like, if I knew the movie was going to be great, and I really do like the new Star Trek movies, but I would choose like a movie like Ex Machina, I think.
Yeah.
And especially with Star Trek, you know, these last movies, the TV shows were very much, they were intellectual, and, you know, is procedural the right type of phrase? Because, I mean,
or like formulaic.
Yeah, especially in the episodes, they would start, and at the end of the episode, they would have whatever mission or objective they had to accomplish, and they would do that, and then the episode would be done. So I think these movies have just become the accessible versions from those shows, and they've taken pieces and changed things to adapt it into a modern, wide release sci-fi movie. But I think I do prefer. I mean, I really do like the Martian, those big movies, but you know, those great sci-fi movies that kind of sneak up.
Yeah.
Those are excellent. Nuggets. Yeah, little tasty nuggets. All right, so last topic of the show. James Cameron is coming out with 3 Avatar sequels. 3! I mean, this isn't new news. But since we're covering all sci-fi, we decided to talk about it because I think we do have some.
Yeah, because it might not be new news, but it's still big news.
Right. I mean, is anyone looking forward to these?
I can't tell. Like, I'm not really. I don't know. I liked Avatar. I really did. Like,
yeah, at the time. But
yeah,
I mean,
I haven't watched it.
Sitting back and thinking about the plot and just story, like it's literally Fern Gully and Pocahontas. But I mean, the technology and world building they did, for me, it kind of outweighs that a little more. Like if we're putting.
It definitely allowed me to forgive the story in the first one.
Right.
It's just, I forgot. Like, honestly, I was having a great experience in the theater, you know, like, because normally I'm not into 3D stuff, but like, they killed it with 3D in that one.
For sure.
And it was a very immersive movie. And I was so far into it that, like, didn't really think about the story that much. I'm just like, damn, did you see that kind of a thing? But then when I got it on Blu-ray, like, after it came out and I'm watching it, and it's just like, it's not the same experience.
No,
it's
like not.
It loses some of its luster.
Right. And I think if they're smart, they will re-release Avatar in theaters in 3D prior to the movie coming out.
To get people psyched up.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will go out and check it out in theaters again. I mean, I probably would, but
I feel like I'd give the second, or like Avatar 2 or whatever it's going to be called, like the next one to come out, like I'll give that one a shot.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting a whole lot. And like, if it doesn't meet those expectations, like I don't think I'm going to care about the other two.
Yeah.
But it sounds like these are like penned in, like these are going to happen regardless of
the
reception of the second one.
Aren't they making an Avatar world at like, is it Disney or Universal Studios or something like that? I'm pretty sure.
I hadn't heard that.
But I almost want to see them not go to whatever planet, Pandora. Like, I want to see a different story using the same type of Avatar technology on a different planet. I think that'd be more interesting. And I don't want to, I don't know. I just think for them just to go back to the same planet, like, oh, the the military is going to come back stronger than ever, and the Navid, they're going to have Navi. They're going to have to fight him again. Like, I don't know. I just think that's a little like cliche, and I just think like if you're going to do all of these, like just come up with a better story.
Yeah,
something a little more interesting.
I kind of like your idea of like using that technology for somewhere else and for something else,
right?
Like, because
different actors and
and almost treating it like an anthology type thing.
Totally.
Do you trust James Cameron to deliver something different than the first one? Because like I think I do. Like I'm not sold, and I don't really know why. Like I really like James Cameron's stuff.
Yeah, me too.
But there's just this weird feeling that comes with this where it's just, I don't know if it was just that drop off from watching it the first time to the second time, and I'm just or not but it's just, man, like I felt high in there or something. Like I don't know. I'm really curious to see the trailers, I guess, whenever they release.
Right. And I think he is shooting these back to back, but like, they honestly need to announce that they're doing 3 of them? Like for me, that kind of just
deflate it.
Yeah, it deflates it, and I lose hype for it. Just because I think it's gonna be oversaturation, I think.
Yeah, and like I think even just us talking about it, where we're just kind of like, fuck, 3? Like,
yeah, it's excessive.
It sounds like we're in for a long haul. Right. That doesn't sound, I don't know, it doesn't sound that awesome. But I hope I'm proved wrong. Like I think that it could be cool. I hope that the story gets bolstered up a little bit.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's going to do it for episode, was it 5 now?
5.
Of the Cinebuds podcast. Garrett, where can people find you online?
People can find me on Twitter at Garrett Dennert and on orsonspublishing.com. It is my publishing company. You can read stuff that I write. Awesome. How about you, Matt?
You can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Rex Overdrive, as well as my YouTube channel where I do movie reviews. Just at Rex Overdrive as well. I'll have the Ghostbusters movie review sometime Thursday night, so make sure to check that out. All right, so that's it for the Cinebuds podcast. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.